This is a short little book review, sorta, and I wanted to dispel some misconceptions that people have about this series. This is the first book in the Imperial Ranch series by Anne Leckie. They do have... This is the first book, Ancillary Justice. The second is Ancillary Sword, and then Ancillary Mercy. And then after this trilogy, there is Provenance, which is more standalone, but it is set after this in the same universe. And then there's a newer book called Translation State, which I haven't been able to read yet because our library doesn't have it. But anyways, this is a really, really freaking good series. I highly recommend it. Let me read the summary. On a remote, icy planet, the soldier known as Breck is drawing closer to completing her quest. Once, she was the Justice of Torin, a colossal starship with an artificial intelligence linking thousands of soldiers in the service of the Ratch, the empire that conquered the galaxy. Now, an act of treachery has ripped it all away, leaving her with one fragile human body, unanswered questions, and a burning desire for vengeance. I won't tell you anything about the plot of it, besides the summary that's on the back, because you can just read it and find it out yourself. But I love this series. Hold on, let me put the book away. I don't drop it. Just sit there. But I love this series because, we can just point at it. But I love this series because I'm not telling you anything about the plot. You can go look up plot summaries on other videos because I like knowing as little about a book before I actually read it, besides the obvious summary on the back, because I don't want to have any pre-ideas about what's going to go on. I want it to be completely surprising, and I have to learn everything as I turn the pages. But I see a lot of people recommending this book series to people online, and the people doing the recommendations have really misunderstood a few key things about this trilogy. I have seen people saying that there is a canon gender fluid character who switches between she, her, and he, him pronouns, and oh my gosh, people. That's not what's going on here. Unfortunately, there's no gender fluid characters. So if somebody tells you there are, please don't go into this series so far, at least for the first 4 books. That could be in the 5th book. I don't know. Haven't read it yet. But people saying that, they're not outright lying to you. They're just misunderstanding a thing that's happening in this. Not going to describe the plot, but there are multiple languages all being spoken, but the whole book is in English because they're all being translated. And one of the main languages only has a single personal pronoun used for people, which gets translated into English as she, her, and feminine terms like sister, stuff like that. There are other languages that have more genders and also use pronouns like he, him. One of the characters only speaks the first language, so the only pronouns she ever uses for herself are she, her. But people who speak other languages, in those other languages which she doesn't speak, assign her he, him pronouns, and there will be times that she's in the room while conversations are happening, and other people are referring to her as he, him, but she has no idea that's going on because she doesn't speak that language, so she has no idea what these people are saying or that she's even being talked about. So it's not that this character is gender fluid, it's that there's multiple languages being spoken and different pronouns are being used for her in different languages, but she's not to be clear, she's not a participant in any of these conversations. She does not speak any language except for the one she grew up learning, which only has the singular she, her pronoun for people. For non-people, they have the pronoun it, but that's not important at the moment. So, yeah, just to get that out of the way, because I see a lot of people not understanding what this trilogy is doing. A lot of people think that there's just gender fluid characters everywhere because they see different pronouns being used for different characters, but absolutely failing to understand and grasp that it's not that these characters are purposefully using multiple pronouns for themselves as their own choice. They're being assigned different pronouns in different languages when they are not a participant in the conversation at all. They're being talked about, not to, if that makes sense. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that. And I also saw somebody saying that somebody in these books uses Z here pronouns, and I don't remember a single character using those pronouns, so I'm not sure if that person was getting this mixed up with another book or if I seriously missed something, but I'm pretty sure nobody uses those. In Provenance, the sort of standalone fourth book, I forgot. It's either E-M... Yes, there are other neopronouns used in that, which is just the letter E for the first word in the set. I'm pretty sure it's M. I can't remember off the top of my head because I was just writing a bunch of neopronoun short stories, so I have a bunch of neopronouns on the brain. But there are neopronouns used in that by a bunch of characters. But no canon gender fluid characters as far as the first 4 books go. The fourth book, Provenance, which we don't have. We got that one from the library. This is the only one we've been able to find at a bookstore so far. There are trans characters in this series, but they're not screaming in your face obvious. It's actually kind of hilarious in the best way possible for the fourth book, Provenance in particular. Just read that and pay attention because I love it. It's just amazing. And so funny. But anyways, another thing I really freaking love about this series that is making me lose patience with a whole lot of other books that are coming out these days is that when characters receive massive, catastrophic injuries in this series, you want to know what doesn't happen? They don't get magically healed. And I know, that seems impossible. Everybody always gets magically healed. Well, no. Everybody else is just a crappy ableist writer. And like he actually cares about disabled people and having stakes in the story. Because you know what happens when you constantly magically heal every single little thing so that the character is always going back to normal like nothing ever happened? It means your story has no stakes. Okay, there might be a random skip in the video because my phone decided to stop the video for some reason, and I am not re-recording all of that, so I will attempt to stitch these later. Anyways, if you magically heal your characters, that just means that anytime your character is supposedly in danger, we all know that there's not actually any real danger because there's no real harm that's going to come to them. Sure, maybe Murderbot will get blown to pieces in this scene and have to crawl around without its legs or something ridiculous. But we all know it's going to be perfectly fine before the book ends, probably even before the next chapter begins. And this isn't just with books. It does it with TV shows and movies and crap all the time. But yeah, I love this series because disabled people actually get to exist. There actually get to be stakes. Characters can't just do whatever they want, and it doesn't mean anything. In this series, when a character makes a drastic decision to save someone else's life, in an extremely dangerous way, it means something because that character, who has done this incredibly dangerous thing, is now going to be disabled for the entire rest of their life. And that's how it should be. And that's fucking amazing. And it shouldn't be. This should just be how it works in fiction. I don't understand why authors are so freaking lazy and cowardly and just refuse to let their characters become disabled. Like, I at least remember in the inheritance cycle, at some point Aragon got slashed on the back with some magical sword that gave him I think it was seizures or some kind of pain thing every now and then. I don't know. I haven't read that series since I was like 10. But, like, why don't more people do stuff like this? It doesn't matter if your setting literally has magic, because as good as your magic is for healing, there's going to be magical curses designed to be non-healable. And it's just so freaking lazy when authors insist on always magically healing every single character, every single injury, so that you can never tell it even happened, and usually they don't even have scars about it. But in this book, and in the fourth, everything in the Imperial Ranch series, including Provenance, and the other one, I just forgot what it's called. What's it called? The other standalone fantasy novel, The Raven Tower, I think is what it's called. I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, that one. Disabled characters of all kinds just casually exist, and they exist in the freaking world, and space is made for them, and they don't just get magically healed so that the cowardly ableist author can pretend we don't exist, because I guess we make them uncomfortable. So, yeah, I love this series because disabled people are allowed to exist. And that shouldn't be remarkable, but it is, because so many authors and writers of all kinds are ableist as hell and bad at writing and don't actually want to let their characters their actions to actually matter. Like, I've said this before, Martha Wells in particular has a very big problem with refusing to let the characters lose in any way that matters, and she absolutely considers becoming disabled a form of losing, which is why in the books of the Raxura, everybody gets magically healed. And if you don't, if you have scars, well, they're just temporary airbrush tattoos for all they harm you or give you chronic pain or anything. It's all just for show. It's why the Murderbot Diaries has Murderbot constantly being fixed like nothing happened, even though it doesn't even make sense at this point, because you would think it's made up of nothing but proprietary technology and is the equivalent of an Apple phone in terms of the ability to self-repair, or in this case, the absolute lack of ability to self-repair. But Anne Leckie isn't a coward, doesn't hate disabled people, and actually lets us exist in the books she writes. And that shouldn't be something out of the ordinary. Everybody should be doing this. And it's just making me lose my patience. I'm going to have so much less tolerance for ableism now that I've read this series and seen how freaking easy it is for people to actually include us and do it well. So, yeah. Amazing series. It actually understands gender, which, again, oh my gosh, I'm not going to go off on another tangent. But, yeah. It does not have a canon gender fluid character. That's just people misunderstanding completely what is going on with the multiple languages being spoken. But it does understand the concept that gender is a social construct. There's no biological essentialism in here. And yes, please read the fourth book, Provenance, if you would like to see a trans character. It's not a trans character who's out, because they don't even realize they're trans yet. But it is so obvious that I am in love with it. It is so well written and it is so funny. And like, in a haha, I relate way. I love it. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, let's see how many pages this has. This has, for people, it has 385 pages. So we got this at a used bookstore for like $4. So I have no idea how much this would have cost new. So check out used bookstores if there's any near you and try to buy them there. It's where we got most of these. So yeah, I don't like telling people the plots of books. unless I'm specifically reviewing that, but that's not what I'm doing. I just wanted to make sure people know that it's not that the character is gender fluid, it's just that she only speaks a single language and people are speaking other languages about her and she has no idea what's going on. Like, she has no clue what is being said. So, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because a lot of people just did not understand the whole language thing going on here. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. I can't remember what else I wanted to say besides definitely read it. You can you can check your local library first, help them out if you're able to. Apparently you can download the Libby app, and then that'll look at libraries close to you or something like that. I don't really understand how it works. I was only able to just get my library card like last week because I didn't have a state ID before because somebody stole my wallet and I don't drive, and it took forever to be able to get to the DMV to buy a new state ID. But anyways, check out your local library, look at used bookstores and their sci-fi section, and if you can't find it anywhere, you can borrow it for free from the Internet Archive from books people have donated. I will link those in the description, and I guess maybe I'll find and see if I'll see if there's any used bookstores that I can find a link to that have it. Don't know if that would work, because I guess, I'm assuming that people watching this video are watching from all over the world, not just the US, so anyways, yep, bye-bye.